Hi everyone, welcome back to the Practical Alchemist. I'm your host, Meg. And look at you, you caught me on a day with my hair styled. It's been really funny to practice not being embarrassed to be totally disheveled when I'm posting videos, but it definitely has helped reduce the give a shit factor in terms of, what do people think of how I look right now and all that. So maybe I'll relocate because there's a police officer driving by and I look slightly suspicious just sitting here in the car. Or maybe he doesn't care. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Man, it is a funny thing to be an elder millennial and be aware of how anxious of an animal I can be. In recent months, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of processing and transmuting that anxiety into other things that are productive feelings for me. But wow, anxiety, man, that's a bear. So that's not why we're here today. I want to talk to you today about a concept that I wrote a bunch of notes about, and I was going to do a scripted video, but we're experimenting and I am playing with how things turn out when I just trust the flow. So I'm hoping that I touch on everything I want to talk about, but the big idea is something that I call the confirmation bias cafeteria. And this is a tactic that you can use to alter your beliefs. And so the first step of all of this is always awareness, right? In case you haven't seen any of the videos on this channel yet, awareness is a pretty key, important piece of everything we talk about, because unless you're conscious of what's happening between your own two ears at any given time, if you're not aware of that, it's really hard to place roadblocks between your thoughts and those thoughts then becoming potentially, a catastrophic chain of thought. So the first step we need here is in order to use this confirmation bias cafeteria metaphor is, what are the beliefs that you want to release? What beliefs are not productive for your life? What beliefs are not helpful to you? I'll give you a couple of examples. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have what it takes to be successful. Whatever that belief may be. Or even it could be if you want to change a belief about other people. Your opinion towards others. Maybe you catch yourself saying or doing things that you'd like to not be doing, like having mean thoughts about others. I believe she's dumb. I believe, he's a bad person. Those beliefs can be things that you can become aware of and choose to change if you want to as well. Because by the way, when you're putting out all that haterade, you're also drinking your own poison, so be careful with that. And so we start with the beliefs that we want to change. And you have to also understand that in order to change a belief, you have to be willing to consume information that supports the belief you want to have, not the belief you currently have, right? So in lieu of, I don't believe I'm good enough, you want to focus on, I am good enough, and start hunting for that information, start hunting for that content, start hunting for that evidence. So every belief starts out as a thought and idea that is reinforced over time. And you may not realize this, but you have certain beliefs because of this paradigm. As an example, maybe somebody, in school when you were a kid made fun of you because you got a bad grade on a test. And then maybe someone in your family wasn't supportive of you when you weren't getting straight A's. And then later you struggled a little bit in high school or college. And now you have this belief that you're, academically subpar, you're dumb, you're not smart enough to do the thing. This is just an example. It took that initial piece of evidence, and then as you went through your life day by day, more evidence was consumed that says, yes, I support that idea, that idea is supported by this evidence and that evidence and that evidence. This is the good part, guys, is the cafeteria metaphor. You have the choice to also hunt for evidence that opposes what you don't want to believe. So if you want to enforce an idea in your mind that you are actually intelligent and really smart, you have to find that information, hunt for it, and accept it and process it into your being. So what's the confirmation bias cafeteria? Confirmation bias is a bias that all human beings have cognitively that says, I tend to consume more content or information related to something that I already believe. You know what this is already, I promise. So think about the 2025 political landscape right now. If you're a staunch Republican, there's a chance you might hate Democrats. If you're a staunch Democrat, there's a good chance you hate Republicans, which makes me really sad. I don't hate anyone, and I don't want anyone to hate anyone. But anyway, so if you're staunchly on one side of the political spectrum or the other, there's a good chance that you tend to consume more content related to what you already believe. As an example, if I'm a Republican and I hate Democrats, I'm much more likely to consume information that says Democrats are dumb, they're all wrong, they're ruining the country. I'm more likely to watch news outlets and speakers and presenters and listen to radio shows and podcasts that support that idea. We all do it. We all do it. And, you know, it's a useful thing sometimes to have confirmation bias, because really what it does is it protects our brain from being overwhelmed with an excess of choices. It makes our lives easier in some ways, but in other ways, it can really counterproductively ingrain and entrench ideas that we don't want to have. And so the idea with the cafeteria is this. Confirmation bias is a real thing that all human beings have, and we all use whether we realize it or not. And what you can do is start viewing your life and your experience in terms of a cafeteria. Everything around you is a cafeteria. You can grab some French fries. You can leave the apple there. Maybe you're not feeling some fruit today. You'd rather have some pizza, you'd rather have some fries, whatever the case may be. The act of walking through a cafeteria is, I look at that thing and I choose it because I like it, and I look at that thing and I don't choose it because I don't like it. And frankly, every single piece of information that you consume all day long is part of this information cafeteria. And the more that you consume what you would prefer to believe, the more you believe it. So, if the pizza and fries represent for you, no, I want to feel smart. I want to feel good. I want to believe that I am intelligent and capable of achieving anything I want to achieve. Consume that data. Consume that information. Get online and find content that is uplifting. Look at your own life in a day-to-day, moment-by-moment paradigm and see where you actually are making intelligent choices. Oh, hey, I pay my bills on time. That's pretty smart. Oh, hey, when my friend is feeling down, they need some advice, I give them support. I'm good at that. I'm pretty smart in terms of giving advice. Things like that. And it also is going to require you to deliberately leave the things in the cafeteria that you don't want to believe. Any sandwich that says, you're stupid, you're not smart enough, leave that sandwich. Don't accept it. Literally in your brain, when you hear that thought run through your brain that says, I'm not smart enough. Actually, no. I know I am smart enough. I know I'm intelligent. I refuse to accept that thought. I reject that thought. Use strong words even. I run around all the time narrating to myself when something pops in that I don't want in there. I'm like, oh man, I kind of suck at this. Wait, no, I don't suck at that. Maybe I need a little bit more practice, but I don't suck at that. And here's the evidence that I know I don't suck. XYZ. All these things I've done in my life in the past. And in the moment, I know I don't suck because, I don't know, I have the confidence to get on YouTube and say the weird things that I think about, right? So, I hope that came across as intelligibly as I intended. Just remember, everything you consume, like when you're scrolling on your phone, when you're watching TV, even inside your own brain, in your own thoughts, everything is a food option in the cafeteria. It is up to you to choose the ones that you want and to reject the ones that you don't want, and to deliberately continue in accepting and rejecting things in such a way that eventually you get to the point where your belief is different. I hope this was helpful. I hope you experiment with this. Please let me know in the comments if you do. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again soon.